Unmute. So there we go.
Hi, Betsy.
Hi. How
Okay,
are you?
how's the bit? No, that's Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
You're working on the one for the college graduation.
It's done and I dropped it off at UPS today.
Congratulations!
Yes.
Wow, very cool. I, alas, have made no progress on this butterfly quilt this week. Thank
Well,
goodness it's only Wednesday.
hi, Madeline.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Madeline.
Good.
Trying to dry out from all the friggin' rain we've had with
Oh,
school
man.
rain.
It's rained here for a week and it's cold.
Well, tonight they're expecting between tonight and tomorrow morning a nor'easter.
Well, I think it's coming from us up in North
Thank
Dakota.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry about that.
That's okay. The way my week's been going, that's the least of my problems.
Oh, dear.
I had somebody put a thermostat in for me, one of those Nest thermostats, so I don't have to run down the stairs to change the thermostat all the time.
Yeah.
And it turned out the day they put it in and they left, I couldn't shut the heat off.
Oh, no.
I had to call PSC&G, who had to call the fire department. They came out and they pulled the wires to my furnace. So I had air conditioning, but I had no furnace. Fine, not a problem. I don't need heat right now. But I called electrician. One wanted to come in $800 and rip up my walls and draw the wire down. And so I said, no, that doesn't sound right, because then who's going to rebuild the house when he was done with it? So I called another electrician. It cost me the same money, but the guy goes up and he goes, your wires are there. I said, well, you and PSC&G and the other electrician said they weren't there. He said, no, they're there. And he rewired it. And then he checked the thermostat. The thermostat that I got for nothing through PSC&G is defective.
Oh, no.
So they had to put in a new thermostat, which they put in the Honeywell, which they said is the better one. And I still ended up spending $711.
Oh,
But at least he didn't have to chop my walls.
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like in shock when the guy said, oh, we can cut an 18-inch, hole right here. And I said, can you? Not if I have anything to say about it.
I'll tell you what, the heating and cooling stuff, in my opinion, is the worst.
But let me tell you something. I don't know how the guys at PSC&G, I'm sorry if anybody has anybody that works for them. I don't know how they get jobs. This guy told me there was no wire connected for the heating to the thermostat, get electrician, blah, blah, blah. And the electrician goes up there and says the wire's right there.
Oh.
I don't know. He says, who told you didn't have the wire? I said, PSC&G. He says, I don't know how they get jobs sometimes.
PSC&G.
Public service, electric and gas.
Oh.
We have that in Jersey, and then we have Jersey something in lighting. So it's JCP&L. I mean, they all got acronyms.
Oh, I know.
But other than that, I finally got to cut out all the masks that match all the neck things.
Oh, yay!
How I can sit and sew them.
Very cool. Betsy got her college graduate quilt off. Was that for
Nice.
your son?
See, look.
Oh, nice.
And
Oh,
they're gonna get filled with rice and flaxseed, so you can put them in the freezer or put them in the microwave, and then you can.
Yeah. When I get out to Virginia for graduation, which is next week, I'll take a picture of him with the quilt. My grandson, him. Who's him? Him, my grandson. With the quilt, and then I'll post it on Facebook.
Yes, that will be very cool.
I have a baby quilt here with whales on it that I'm dying to finish, but she didn't have the baby yet, so.
Oh no.
I need the information so I can put the label on the back and bind it.
Yeah. I actually put a label on this one.
Ooh. I put a label even if the quilt turns out just for me.
Yeah.
I figure maybe when I'm dead, somebody will want it. Somebody in my family will want it.
Well, the amazing thing about when you do that is, you've heard stories of, people, it gets, and it gets passed down or it ends up in somebody else's, stuff and then they find it and I love those stories. So yeah, you have to put a label in it.
Yeah. I got, if I don't feel like, let's see, where are they? If I don't feel like making a big label, I ordered these other things from Etsy. These other labels. I'll show you.
Oh, they're like a tag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tag you might find in your clothes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've seen those too. I like that.
And they don't cost very much.
There's a website out there. I forgot.
And they
what
look like
it's
this.
called.
Is that that's backwards though, I suppose.
Why do I have the?
I like that too.
Why do I
I
have
love
the
that.
So then you fold them in half like this. And I just stick them in the binding and sew them into the binding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had these made when I was selling the jelly roll rugs that I put on the end.
Yeah.
But there's a website. I have the name of it on my phone where you can go in, you can design a label or any kind of tag or anything you want
Yeah.
and print it out on the transfer paper, fabric paper. Some of them have to be mirrored though, some of them don't. And then what you do is I can run them off on a roll of ribbon because you print it out and it's like an iron
that's cool.
and you can put it on the ribbon.
Yeah.
My own labels.
That's neat. There's someone else on here that,
Yes, and I don't know.
hello,
When
someone
you come
else.
on, tell us who you are, and where you're from.
Is Steve having a good birthday?
I think he's having a very nice birthday. The pillowcase was a big success.
Ah,
Not
He
a
was
huge,
very surprised.
not a huge surprise though when he got to editing.
And then today we went to lunch at a little so we live about 10 miles from Crystal River, and Crystal River kind of there's all these little fingers that basically flow into the Gulf. And there's all kinds of restaurants and there's a whole bunch of little towns in that area. So anyway, we went to one of those little towns that we normally go to this restaurant that we love that's where you just basically sit right on the water and
Oh.
have a wonderful lunch. The only dilemma was it was like 90 degrees, and we always make the mistake of going on days when it's like 90 degrees. And so it's just really hot. It's just sweaty hot. So
Is it really humid there?
yes, very humid. Very hot, very humid. Yesterday, I don't think there was a lick of wind yesterday.
Oh.
Today there was a little bit more wind, so we did get a couple of gusts. That was nice. But it was just really warm.
I would have a
humid on the water. The water should have been really, really nice.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine that the water it was nice, and so when we got those little breezes, and you could tell the people that were on their boats, they were having a very nice time because that would be the perfect place to be today.
Yeah.
And then came back, and we're actually doing some fun stuff this weekend. It's just hard when it's in the middle of the week, and
Yeah.
some of the stuff we wanted to do. I have appointments tomorrow morning, and so does he. And so it was like, we wouldn't have been very relaxed today. We were originally going to go out, go and do them today, but we wouldn't have been very relaxed, and I hate that. So we're going to wait until this weekend.
Oh, good.
Done.
I was going to ask something and I forgot what it was. I don't know. Oh, I had a little thought about your extra butterflies that you said you had extra butterflies
Yes.
were on adhesive.
Yep.
You know, when you put your sashing in and
Yeah.
kind of on the corners where your sashing meets, you know, say you have sashing on
Right.
four sides of your block, and where they meet another piece of sashing, you know, and there's a little square there. I mean,
Yeah.
really isn't a square there, but it's kind of like a square. You could put
Right.
butterflies in there.
You know what? I was trying to figure out a way to do that, and I hadn't thought about the sashing. I kept thinking about on the backing, and I was like, "Ah, I really don't want anything else on the square." That's a very cute idea. I think I'm gonna try that.
There would be a way to use some of them up.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought it would be a really fun way because other than the butterflies, the rest of the quilt is pretty, the sashing is just cream and then green for the border. It would be kind of a way to add a little bit of pop kind of around.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to just put them in the cornerstone. You can have them like look like they're half on the square, half in the sashing, so they look like they're
Oh, that
flying
would be
off.
cute too.
Yeah. Is my sewing machine making too much noise?
I don't hear anything.
Okay. It makes about the same noise as Angela's does, because it's pretty much the same sewing machine, only mine is older.
Someday I want to get a new sewing machine.
I was looking at this. It says how many stitches. There's a total
Oh,
count.
yeah.
3,463,332.
Oh my God.
Now.
I don't know if mine has something that sews stitches.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Angela, I bet you have it on yours where the little down at the bottom it looks like a piece of paper with lines on it on the
Yeah,
lower. Do you have something like that?
I do.
If you go to the very last page, you probably have more pages. I have 7 pages.
So do I.
If you go to the very last page, it should says how many stitches since you had last serviced and how many total for the life of the machine.
684,779.
Way to go.
Wow.
That's ungodly.
That's kind of fun to look at sometimes.
It is fun. And I remember when we got it, that one of the things, and I should have written it, it's probably in my paperwork. One of the things that she talked about was the fact that it had such low hours on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I can't believe it's got 600,000 on it now. Wow. I gotta get these butterflies cut out. Oh, I've been doing projects. I think what I'm gonna start doing is trying to do some of these bigger projects because there's other projects that I want to work on during the week. I think I'm gonna do work on these bigger quilts on Wednesdays and on Sundays. And then if I have time, around the week,
Mhm.
because in June, coming up pretty quick, I really want to try some of the projects in this in that project book that's in the that's on our page or it's in the description of all the videos now.
I
And
have to look at that. I haven't looked at it.
yeah, it's very cool. And because it gives you different projects that you can do, and I thought they would be fun. Because we have such a mix, we have some people that, gosh, have done all kinds of different projects, and some people that are relatively new. And so I thought it would be kind of fun, and you can kind of, mix some of them up, and so that's what but if I do that, I want to be able to have enough time to do some of those and still work on some of on these bigger. I want to do another petals quilt in June. So
I'm gonna look at that right now.
I spent 2 days cutting out. I did the big squares on my girlfriend's quilt, and I spent 2 days cutting out 241 rectangles of the fabric, 241 rectangles of the batting, and I just finished 200 rectangles from the background.
That's how it feels. Like you just, there's so much of it. Like sometimes dude, Steve and I are talking. He's like, "Oh, you didn't really do much on the. You didn't do much in your video today." Because part of the problem is you get going on certain projects, and there's so much other work to do than sewing. You know, there's
Right. There's the
like
cutting
this,
out and everything. Yeah.
the cutting out and the lining stuff up, and
And then
yeah.
when I'm done with the 241, I've got 241 2.5-inch squares, and I got to start all over again.
Well, for some reason I can't get to that page, but is it Sewing Pattern Secrets?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try to. Greatest online database of sewing. Well, this is the greatest online sewing video, isn't it? Yours? Didn't you say that one time? This is the greatest sewing online sewing
Probably.
get together. I'm pretty sure you did.
I think that sounds like something I would say.
Sounds like her. Yeah.
That sounds like me. Betsy, when do you leave for Virginia?
Wednesday morning, really early, super early. And my son and two smaller grandkids from they live about 30 minutes from me are going along. So we're gonna have a big family powwow out there for graduation.
Oh, that's very fun. And how long do you stay?
We'll come back. It'll be just a week. So
That's a good amount of time.
2 travel days.
Yeah.
My littlest grandkids had that. This was their last day of school today.
Okay.
They're out.
Somebody else talking about that on another Facebook page that I follow. May?
Yeah, well, they start in August.
My goddaughter's son just graduated today from one of the colleges. Now he's transferring into Rutgers, but he denied me the pleasure of watching him walk. He said, "I'm not walking."
Oh,
I was so proud of him.
that's too bad.
Oh.
I said, "That's it. Your gift just got cut in half."
Miles, that's my graduating grandson, is going to Virginia Tech next year.
Oh wow.
I have 5 graduations this month. No, between this month and next month. And he just transferred from Rowan. He just transferring into Rutgers. He's gonna go 2 years in Rutgers. And my niece is going to Delaware, University of Delaware. And the other ones are going into high school.
All these smart kids.
So I have,
But yes.
the funny
We
thing
have
is,
26 people on YouTube trying to get to Zoom.
Oh
So-
dear.
I'm trying to get them over to Zoom,
Okay.
just so you know.
Doggone.
They claim that the URL is not working, but everybody else got into it. So
I got in by going right to Zoom and putting the number in.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank
I
you.
got in through Google. I started typing the title of
Yeah.
the Zoom. It just brought me right in.
That's what I did.
And by the way, ladies, it is the greatest YouTube meetup in the history of YouTube.
There it is. There
Guess
it
who
is.
said it?
And it's even better now that
I knew
Madeline.
it sounded familiar.
Yep, came from Angela.
Yep. It's
That
even
sounds
better.
like something I would say.
I like that we all have pretty much the same sense of humor.
Me too.
This is the only place I can be because
You mean warped?
once I get rolling, you don't want to.
Okay. All my friends and I are all
My
warped. It's okay.
You know, Barb, my sister, that was on a live one time.
Yeah.
We were actually in Virginia when we were doing that, but she's crazier than me. We have so much fun.
That's very cool.
She watches you, even though she's a knitter, and she subscribed.
Oh, that's cool. I'm trying to figure out how to do some crochet on the channel, but the problem is, like, once you get the pattern down with crochet, there's not really a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You just kind of, there's just kind of course, I would probably watch a channel like that where somebody was just quietly, you know,
That'd be no fun.
You
just
could,
quietly
you
doing
could
their
listen to a
thing.
book.
That's what I
Oh,
would do is I would listen to a book.
what was the book that you were by Tana French that you just finished?
So I haven't finished it yet, but the one that I'm reading right now is The Hunter.
Yes. I listened to, I don't know if it was a hunter. I think it was the hunter. And I could not take the guy that was reading it. I've read the book before, but I could not take he was so macho. I mean, it's just,
I'll tell
you know.
there's a do you know Sue Grafton?
I've never read any of hers.
Okay. I love, 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 love. She's probably my favorite author. She passed away a few years ago. She had one letter left in the alphabet to finish this whole series.
Yeah.
One. Anyway, the there's two narrators that did her books. There was one that did them very early on. And then after that, I'll tell you who took them over. Judy Kay. Judy Kay
And
did. Yes.
Sandra was on. Now she's off. Keep an eye out. She's on. She's coming in.
Okay. Um, and Judy Kay is, oh, there she is. Judy Kay is
Oh,
just,
there's Sandra.
there's
Yeah.
Sandra. Hi, Sandra.
There's Sandra.
She's just like when you get a good narrator for an audiobook, in my opinion, it just kind of embodies the book. Like it makes the book kind of come alive and it tends to kind of
Right.
match up with my imagination. The problem is that just like yours, like the first girl who started narrating Sue Grafton's books,
Bad, huh?
it was awful. And I can't listen to them.
Yeah.
I made it.
You made it, you made it.
I'm so happy. Happy birthday, Steve.
He'll come back over in a second. He's working all the technical
Thank
buttons.
you. Thank you. I'm over
There
here
he
trying to
is.
navigate all the lost souls, trying to get them on the Zoom.
Trying to get
What
all
a
the
mess.
lost-
Get them to the promised land.
Yeah.
3 times the charm, though. We'll get it next week.
We're trying to make it
Welcome.
as easy as possible for people.
Sandra, you're muted. Did you know that?
Go up to the top with the blue boxes and
Now she's
Yes.
not.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize I was muted. Thank you.
If you go up, you have a blue box in your corner with 3 dots on it.
No.
Oh, because you can go in there. If you start video, your picture will pop up.
You don't know my picture.
Oh,
Would
yeah,
like
we
to see your
do.
face.
Sure we do. Well, anyway, the
Anyway,
narrator
that's the book
make
that I'm
it
reading
break
right now is The Hunter. I started to read just before I started The Hunter, I started I think it was In the Woods.
I love that.
Did you really? Okay. Then I'm gonna go back to it. I must
Laura's
the day I
with us,
picked it
Ange.
up. What?
Hi,
Laura's
Laura.
here.
Hi, Laura. What are you working on?
We just got home from Florida. So,
Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna start tomorrow.
Wait, you just got home from Florida.
Yeah.
Weren't you just going to Florida?
Yeah, we didn't stay too long, you know.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But we were visiting. My son and his wife live down there and they both work at Disney. So we were staying in Davenport. So
Ooh, fun.
yeah, we had a great time. Yeah, we had a
For
great
some
time.
reason, I had it in my head that you guys were coming down like for the season.
Oh no, no, no. I still work the 9 to 5 job at Vanderbilt, so um, I gotta work, pay the bills.
I hear ya.
It's all good.
Oh, I got into that sewing thing.
Oh, did you get into it?
Oh, there's some really weird swimsuits.
I haven't had a chance
It's
to go
mostly
through all of
clothes.
them.
It's mostly clothes that I can see. Maybe I'm not in the right place.
I have to. I'm gonna go through it this weekend, and then we'll talk about it next week and see if because I'm hoping that I want to do a bunch of projects in the month of June, and then I also want to finish some of these bigger projects, like the butterfly quilt's going to be done in May. That's not going to go all the way to June. But I want to do another petals quilt. I know there were. I think it was either Laura or I can't remember.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the petals quilt.
Yes, we're gonna do another petals one in June, and so I've got to start getting the. I have to start getting the fabric out for that.
Is where do we get the pattern for that?
So
Wait.
that one was
Missouri Star Quilt.
Missouri
Oh,
Star.
okay.
Yes, and it's called Laura. Do you? I can't reach it, and I don't.
It's vintage. I meant Vintage Daisy. Vintage Daisy. Can you hear me?
It is?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look
Oh.
at Vintage Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My fingers and typing are. Does it say? Oh, okay.
Look in the search bar.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video. No, that isn't it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
there's a YouTube video on it.
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've forgotten. It's been a long time since I've seen yours, Angela. So it's yeah, that's neat. Lots of
I'll
applications.
grab it.
Can't believe everything you see on YouTube. Be careful, there are a lot of scammers out there.
They don't have a name of Steve, do they?
Yeah, probably so.
Maybe one or two of them.
Oh, here we're gonna see it now. Oh, yep, that's it.
This is the first one I did. This is the first one I did. Was all bees, and it was
Oh.
bee fabric, and I can't remember by who. Deb someone or other, I think. That's the bees one.
That's really pretty.
And no, have I backed it and sandwiched it and quilted it yet? No.
Our birthday picture.
Oh, here's our. Now I have all this fabric on me. Here's our picture from lunch, from our birthday lunch.
Oh, yay. What did you have? What did you eat?
So this place has fantastic fish and chips.
Oh, yum.
And so we
Well,
had grouper, fish and chips, and it was fantastic.
Yum.
I will say this though, the heat got to me a little bit today. It gave me a little bit of a headache. One of those little heat headaches, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to tolerate the humidity. That's
Oh, it
gets
was hot down there.
It's
yeah, it's
oh my god.
we get humidity
The
in
last week has been so hot. Oh my God.
Yeah, I picked the worst week to come. I thought May, it'll be 80s, great. Oh no, 96, 95.
what
Awful.
did you visit somebody or just hang out somewhere?
Yeah, my son, he's 23 and his wife, they just got married last year. They live in Davenport and they both work at Disney. He's a cook or aspiring chef, you know.
Yeah.
And he went to their Disney College of Culinary for about a year, and then he stayed on and has been working there for about a year. So
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, and she works there on the park, and in the college system too. They have built in. It's kind of like, anyway, so she's doing that. And then my daughter and her new husband came from Denver, met us there. And then our other child and his wife came. So it was the whole family.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's
it was a good,
fun.
yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, great
That's
time.
like what Betsy's getting ready to do in Virginia for her grandson's graduation.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun. Where in Virginia?
Oh, outside, well, it's, their address is Fredericksburg, but they live out in the country. So it's really fun.
I bet
That's where
that's
I
beautiful.
spend the winter.
Oh, nice.
I get out of North Dakota when it's the coldest and go there and visit with everybody.
I can't imagine. Ugh. We went through South Dakota, and it was -3 degrees, and it was awful.
Gosh.
Well, that's not too bad.
I just can't. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of insight as to what weaklings we are when it comes to the cold. When we lived in Northern California, in the winter, it would get, now we didn't live like in Lake Tahoe or in the Sierras, nothing like that. We didn't get snow where we lived in the town that we lived in. But it got during the day from like October to May, during the day it would be like 50 for between the 40s and the 50s. And then at night it would get down into the like low 30s, maybe the high 20s.
You poor things.
Listen here, Betsy. We thought we were done. There's no possible way. Steve and I would become so poopy. We would just have such terrible attitudes because we would get so tired of the freezing cold. I used to
Oh,
wear like
dear.
4 layers to go to see a client. So this -3,
Well, you know, we have heated cars and heated houses and heated everything, heated garages and everything. It's just like if you live in Arizona or Florida, you have air conditioning. And in the summer, it's just beautiful here.
that's the one thing is that, I guess everybody has a flip side.
Yeah.
Down here we have very moderate. I mean, the winters are really pretty mild. But the summers can be, and it's the same thing. It's like we're always telling people that say that, they couldn't live down here. We are in the air conditioning most of the day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Like we're in the heating in the
like you're in
winter.
the heating. But I still couldn't do it, Betsy. There's just no way.
You better come and visit me and give it a try.
Well, here's the thing is that we love to visit. So this is good that everybody's so spread out because it'll give Steve and I good excuses to travel around.
Yep, fly right into Fargo. And Fargo is not the Fargo you saw in the movies. That wasn't even filmed in Fargo. That was filmed in Minnesota.
Oh no.
That was a lot of baloney. But
I like the cold, but I think that's a little too cold even for me.
yeah,
I'm the one that goes out in the winter here when it's 20 below and I don't even zip on my coat.
yeah.
Oh.
The coldest
time
I ever experienced is 45 below.
Wow.
But now it doesn't get that cold anymore.
The best time I had in Florida was when we used to go between like October, November, and December.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect. All you needed was a light jean jacket. That's my
Yeah, every place has its good things and drawbacks.
because when my dad retired, he moved to Fort Lauderdale. And he said, "You never come down to see me." And I said, "Because I can't stand the weather." Used to open up the car door and the whole place fogged up.
That's true.
Your glasses fog up when you go outside?
Like the glass is fogged up, the car windows fogged up.
You aren't even in the big heat time yet, though, Angela, are you?
No, and that's the scary part of it all.
But at least you have a
Not even-
pool.
Not even, yes, we, like, that was one thing that I don't think we would be able to, especially because we love to work out in the yard and be outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's really hot, a couple of times a day, Steve will go jump in the pool and cool off. And you can't do that. He has a friend that says, "Oh, I don't want a pool. That's why I have a shower." But you can't go get in a hot shower, and I can't take cold showers. So
Everybody in Florida has a pool, and they got those cages over them. I
Yeah.
guess to keep bugs and stuff away.
keeps all our bugs out.
Wait, is your pool covered?
No, but it's a big, it's like a screened in, it's like a big screened in patio, but it comes right off the roof of your house and goes out beyond your pool. And it's a big, huge, like, I don't
Like
know,
Like a screen porch, only it has
Yeah.
a pool.
only it's
Bird cage.
massive and it goes all the way out over the pool. And it's fantastic because
Oh, that's great.
it keeps all manner of bugs and stuff out. Not all bugs. There's still little tiny stuff that gets in, but for the most part, it keeps all the bugs out, and it keeps a lot of stuff out of the pool in terms of like leaves and debris and dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, when she lived in Florida, had a bird cage, they called it, over it. But
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but it was glass. And then she had air conditioning in there. That was the best.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
That's covering all your bases.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to try and get one of these butterflies on with this heavier.
Don't
I
do
could
it.
have sworn that when I did the first petals quilt that I used the heavy duty
That was no so.
but
You're gonna be sorry when you start sewing it. I used it once because I made a mistake and it gunked up my needle, and every 3 seconds I was cleaning it with alcohol.
Oh, God.
really,
What do
Yeah.
y'all use? Because I want to buy the right stuff.
You
need the
were
one-
using some lighter stuff, weren't you, Angela?
yeah. And
You
I
need the
think I'm
one,
just
the
gonna have to
purple,
go back. But then what am I gonna use this for?
the purple.
Oh, you'll find something. Oh, did you put all your butterflies on it?
No, I think I've only done about 4.
I would do a test first. If you want to test on how it feels, do the mug rug you did last night. Just
Yeah.
one of the little butterflies.
Do you still have
Good idea.
butter-
Okay.
Yeah.
So was this the most epic fail? I don't even know what this turned out into be.
That
I
was
got
awesome.
butterflies
I was
flapping on
trying.
here.
I
I got
think you
one
should-
side that
You should save it in case someone has a cast.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good thinking on the fly. I
Yeah,
guess.
that was good.
Well, I'm glad I brought that up because I forgot about the needle gunking. So Laura, you want the one, oh, I threw the package away.
I might have the package. Just a minute here.
Okay.
You need the one
Okay.
in the purple package.
And you know what I'll do is when we find it, Laura, well, I'll have Steve put an Amazon link in the description of the videos going forward.
Oh,
So
great.
that you can get it. It doesn't cost you any more. I want to be clear on that. If there's anything that we have links to in the descriptions or what have you, it's nothing ever where you're going to pay more. They're products and things that either we've used as a group here or I've used that we really like or that are good. And it helps us to grow the channel. We're trying to buy new cameras. So I'm not constantly moving I don't know what that thing's called.
You're pretty good with it.
The tripod.
I try to move the tripod around, but
Yeah.
none of the stuff that we ever have in there that has links, you're not ever paying anything more. So I don't want people to ever think that you're doing that, but it's an easy way for us to connect the same products.
Okay,
That- Not gonna be right. Go ahead.
This is not what you want to use. Do not use this.
Okay.
That's what I bought.
This is what I would use. Heat and
That's
bond.
the one.
Oh,
Can you
the
see it?
light, the heat and bond light, LITE. Yeah.
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 Okay. It's in a
And
purple.
this says sewable and the other says not sewable.
Okay. I think I have the heat and bond ultra too, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
I think I bought some of that.
that's really tough, but it's hard to sew through.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Now that this is all dry, the pieces, that's the other thing, is that the pieces are very,
Stiff?
they're very stiff. And so
Yeah.
I feel like once they're on a quilt, not only is it gonna mess up your needles and but I don't think it's gonna have that great hand to it. You know what I mean?
It won't drape.
Yeah, you're gonna have all this stiffness to it.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Tonight I'll find the Amazon link and so that we don't forget, primarily so I don't forget. And I'll have Steve start putting it into the descriptions and then when we get ready to do, I don't know what you wouldn't use it for.
That's why I bit the bullet and I went to Amazon and I bought a bolt of the heat and bond light.
Light.
It
And I
says
keep it
the
in
pack.
closet. Huh?
Sorry, Madeline. Go ahead.
It's all right, because I applicate a lot. And I was going out and buying those little packages like every week.
Yeah, that's what I have here.
Yeah, so I went, I don't remember how much the 5-yard pack or the 2-yard pack is, but this is, what did I say it was? 20 something yards or whatever, maybe more. I think it's $65 for the bolt.
That's cheaper than you're going to use a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna use a lot of it, I agree. And like, I don't like to be wasteful, but by the same token, I don't like feeling like I have to use every last little minute inch and
Mhm.
rearrange things 5 or 6 times to make them fit so that I, so having a little bit, kind of more than what you need. And I think on this one, I must have used on the petals quilt, I must have used the light because I never had any needle problems.
I wonder if you won't have needle problems with the heavy.
I'm gonna mute myself and sew for just a second and see.
Oh, right here on the package, on the back,
Yeah.
it says tips. Do not sew! Exclamation point.
Uh-oh.
Well,
If
thanks a lot, Betsy. We'll link to
What?
the party on that one.
Well, you were already doing it and I couldn't stop you. I was screaming at the TV.
It's not something we haven't all done before, though.
It says if stitching is required, use heat and bond light in the purple package. Sorry. I hate to burst your bubble.
But I will say this, it's a good thing. It all came about for a reason because somebody, I don't think it was Laura, but I don't remember, it may have been, had asked what kind of, oh, I was showing the butterflies and they said, what's on the back of the butterflies? How do you have paper on the back of the butterflies? And I
Mhm.
thought, okay, she obviously didn't hear what I was talking about with the heat and bond. And so I told Steve the next day, I'm going to do this little short tutorial just about how to use heat and bond. Otherwise, people won't. If you're super new and you don't know how to use this kind of stuff, or you're like me, the first time I ever used it, I was so intimidated. And that was when I had really, really quickly ordered that Heat and Bond Ultra from Walmart because they could deliver it the same day. And that's how I ended up with it. And if I hadn't, I would have all kinds of problems. So I'm going to pull those out.
Well,
Can you remove that now or is it stuck there? You can't take it off the material. It'll probably stretch the material
could
out.
you heat it? Could you iron it and warm it up and pull it off? That's a Laura.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Try it at least.
Then you wouldn't waste your butterfly.
And iron it on, take the paper off.
No, just warm it up. just the way it is now.
Yeah, leave the paper
They
on.
come apart. If you over
Yeah.
iron it may melt the glue and it won't stick. Ask me how I know.
Steve, are there still 20 some people trying to get over here? He's busy.
They're probably watching on YouTube.
I can't get my camera to work today for some reason, but it's fine. At least I can see y'all.
Super hot, Betsy. I mean,
What?
Madeline's super hot.
Well, warm enough so that you might be able to pull the sticky off, pull the fabric off the sticky. Laura, oh, now you're muted. If you just touch
Yeah.
your screen,
Uh,
does a little menu come up along the bottom of your screen?
now I'm on my phone. That's the problem. But-
Oh, well, I'm on
and
a,
it says safe driving mode because we just got out of the car a few minutes ago. So
oh, okay.
it's fine. I'll join in on my computer next week.
Okay, here's one for you. So in our Honda, if the door is open, like if you're the driver and you know, Steve will say, "Oh, move the car up a little bit in the driveway." So, you know, I'll get in the car and I'll have the door open because I'm just going to inch up 6 inches. The car will not move. It throws the car into park.
Oh, yeah.
However, if you have the hatchback, we have a little SUV thingy. If you have the hatchback, the trunk open, you could drive all over town. I forget to close it. And then Steve will start to take off. I can't tell you how many times this has happened. And the only way we catch ourselves is because he'll look at the camera mode on the screen and he'll be looking at, you know, like looking at the sky. And that's what will tell him that the hatchback is open.
I
So there's
that all
no
the
rhyme
time.
or reason.
Because we have dumpsters in my community. We don't have like garbage pails to put out individually. Just have big dumpsters. So
Yeah.
I drive down to the dumpster with my garbage. I put it in the dumpster. I get back into the car, and that big word gate comes up on my dashboard, and I know I left the back open. What would it do
Ours
if I
has none of those things. All right, let's see if this is gonna work.
I have a hybrid Toyota. And I hate to admit, more than once, I have tried to leave the car and it's running.
We do that all the time.
It's silent, you know.
I know.
Hi, Lacey. We have a new
Hi, Lacey.
I bet you've never put garbage in the back seat on the floor because you're going to go dump it on your way out of the community. And when I got to work and got home and I opened up the back door, found out I've been driving around all day with garbage in my back. It didn't even smell or anything. I said, oh my God, it was in there all day.
Was it a hot day?
Okay. Madeline wins.
Was it hot?
I'm still stupid because I've done it on more than one occasion.
Oh, don't feel stupid. I've tried to leave the car running.
My girlfriend did that and she got out and it started going towards a wall and I kept saying, "No, stop talking to me and go get your car." My car is like won't shut off, but you know, I can't even lock it with the keys in it.
No. Yeah, I know.
And then I get that ding 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 that drives me crazy.
Steve has done that with leaving the car on. Because the hybrids are so quiet
Yes.
Right.
that yeah, we'll get out of the car and one time I think we got across a parking lot. I don't even know why we ended up going back to the car and the car was still running.
My brother and his son went on a bicycle trip in Wisconsin, and they're big bike riders, and they had this all-day ride planned, most of the day ride planned, and they had the bikes on the back of their SUV, and so they were getting all ready, and they were They took off and they came back many hours later and they had left the passenger door open on my brother's car all day long and nothing was gone. There's all sorts of stuff in there.
Holy cow.
That's crazy.
As a parent, they don't live up here in the Northeast.
Don't
That would never.
take your stuff out of your car with you still in it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I suppose that wouldn't always happen, but they were lucky. Oh,
Now, when I had to go in the end of last year, I had to go in for a biopsy. And the whole time I'm talking to the hospital, no one told me that I need anybody to come with me. So I said, do I need somebody to drive me? Am I going to be able to drive home? Yes, you'll be able to drive home. Now I'm getting my clothes, I'm getting ready, and the nurse says to me, who do you have coming to pick you up?
oh,
I go, say what? I said, nobody. I said, oh, well, then we can't release you. I said, don't blame it on me if your hospital doesn't know the proper protocol. I
mhm.
said, they told me I could drive home. She goes, well, usually during the biopsies, sometimes we give anesthesia. I said, but I didn't get any, so that's a moot point. So the doctor comes in, I talk to him, he goes, leave your car, come back for it tomorrow. I said, I won't have a car left.
Really?
It'll be the only one in the hospital parking lot. You think someone's not going to like, what? I said to him, were you born around here? New Brunswick is not the best part of New Jersey to begin with.
Huh.
So you think I'm going to find a car when I come back tomorrow to get it? No. So he gave me his phone number. He said, where do you live? I said, I live 15 minutes from the hospital. He said, call me when you get home. I said, what are you, my mother? I'm not 16. Call me when you...
That was kind of nice though.
It was.
We have another person. Hi, Sandy. How are you? You're muted.
Oh,
I'm
Sandy.
good. How are you guys?
We're good. Or I'm good.
We're very good.
I can't see anybody else right now.
What are you working on?
Oh.
What am I working on? Check out that I Spy quilt.
Oh, nice.
That's very
God.
cool.
Nice.
That's nice.
I was going to make 3 of them, and after that one, it was like, no, I'm only making 1.
If can you get a menu up and you can tap gallery view and then you can see us, I think. You wouldn't want to miss us.
No, I don't want to. Say, Betsy, you were saying,
Still in town.
where are you from, Betsy?
Fargo, North Dakota. I grew up just outside of Fargo, North Dakota.
Okay. I'm in North Dakota also.
You are?
Yes,
Where?
I am. Southwest of Fargo.
Southwest. Gee whiz, that's kind of my territory. I grew up in Chaffee.
No way.
Yeah.
I live south of Emden.
No. My son lives north of Emden.
Okay. Yeah, we live on the mighty Maple down here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, I'm trying to find gallery view and I can't see anything. Oh, no. Oh, okay, there now I see. Back to meeting.
Can you scroll
There.
back and forth,
There.
left to right? Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it says start video and it brings it up. I was black until I started the video.
Well, I mean,
Can you see? We can see you. Your camera's on.
yeah. Okay, I can see you now, Angela.
And then whoever's talking, it will typically show you that
Okay,
image.
perfect.
If you're in gallery, you can see everybody.
Right,
I
my
can.
gallery doesn't
Oh.
come.
I have to change. That's what I want to change.
Then you can see everybody whether they're talking or not. That's the way I'm doing it on an iPad.
Okay. I'm on my phone, so I think next time I'll have to get on my phone. But yeah, I just found you just last week, Angela. So this is wonderful.
Oh, congratulations. We're so glad you're here. We're quite the quirky bunch.
Oh, hey, that's yeah.
And apparently we have quite a large following in South Dakota.
North Dakota,
I
North.
mean, North Dakota,
North.
sorry.
It's okay.
People do that all the time.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, and we're not South Canada either.
No,
Please, sorry.
South Canada. That's very funny. That's very funny.
Oh,
we should almost be.
yeah, true. My daughter is moving to northern Minnesota, and she's like 2 miles from Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Up by War Road.
That's where they're moving to, is War Road.
You talk about cold. Whoa.
War Road
Oh,
is cold.
yeah.
Even I couldn't live in War Road, I don't think. We were having a discussion about the cold in North Dakota.
I came in on that part, and then I was like, okay, I gotta get to the Zoom room and get to participate in the conversation. So
I am, those of us that live down here in the South,
yeah.
we have a tolerance for about 60.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend lives in Iverness, I think it is.
Inverness.
Yeah, and she complains to me when it gets to, it's so cold here today, it's in the 50s.
Oh
I
yeah.
said, yeah, I said, you forget what it was like when you lived in New York? 50 was like springtime.
That's
When it's
when
in the 50s here, we start to panic. The city council starts talking about opening up shelters and,
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
when you lived in Northern California, what were you close to, Angela?
So we lived in a little town called Lincoln, and we lived about halfway between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. So Sacramento was our big town. We didn't really go to Sacramento very much, but it was like a typical capital city,
Mm-hmm.
And and then if you went the other direction, you would go up over like Donner's Pass and go into Lake Tahoe, Tahoe National Forest.
It must be beautiful.
It was stunning. And I'll say this, like that's one thing that the scenery was beautiful. It was always a little bit chillier. It was always a little bit more crisp, even in the summertime, which was kind of nice. And we
Mhm.
missed that.
I bet.
I mean, they say that Florida is like flat, and I guess it is kind of flat in terms of, you're not a half hour, an hour from like a mountain range or from mountains, but there's just so much topography in California. Really, even for you guys you know, throughout the Dakotas and throughout like Utah or New Mexico or Arizona, there's so much you don't realize it until you don't see it all the time anymore.
When I traveled for work and I had to go to San Francisco office. So San Francisco to me was like New York City.
Oh
But,
yeah.
but then we went to like Monterey and all that. And I loved Carmel.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Those parts of California. So I grew up in Southern California. I grew up near Pasadena. You guys know the Rose Parade. We lived about
Mhm.
10 or 15 minutes from Pasadena. And then I moved to Northern California. My family still lives in Southern California, but we used to do a lot of stuff in Central California. So like the Central Coast of California, it's just stunning. I mean, it's just, if you've never been, those are the kind of things to go and see and do in California, is to go out along the coast and go up through Northern California and, go up to, the national parks and I don't know,
Mhm.
it's just amazing, amazing scenery. Like Madeline was saying, like up near Monterey and that area. It's just,
Have it all along those mountain little roads, that coastline.
yep.
That was scary.
It's just, it's a great, in that regard, in regards to the weather, it's a fantastic place to live. It's all the other stuff that makes it not such a great place to live.
Mhm.
So you know what, Laura? Well, and everybody, especially if you're doing the butterfly quilt or if you're gonna do the the petals quilt with us, I'm gonna put the pattern for the petals quilt, the link to that, and I'll put a link tonight. Well, I'll have Steve put it in tomorrow's video in the video description or on the channel so that you can, if you're going to sew along with us in June and do a petals quilt, I know Laura is. Come
I
on,
think
there we
I
go.
might. I have to look through my stash.
I have to start going through my stash or I'm never going to find all the flowers.
I can sell you some fabric if you need.
Wow.
I got a whole closet and room full of fabric. I can sell you some.
So this is the Heat and Bond light. And like you see, Laura, you can see like how much, like it's just so much softer.
Yeah,
It's
it looks
much
more
softer.
pliable than that other
Yeah,
stuff. Because I got it out and I was like, this is rough.
yeah. It's really, yeah. Oy.
Did it come off the back of that one you were trying to get off?
No,
Oh, dang. Do you have
and
enough
honestly, it was starting to, I was trying to like start to pick at it so I could get like a hole,
unravel?
get a gap in there. And my
Yeah.
fingers were getting a cramp, so I'm giving up. We'll put those 4. Thank goodness I brought it up and only did 4.
Put them in the corners or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll probably make a placemat, mug rug,
Cast cover.
cast cover. I tell you what, I'm still not sure what happened on this day. And they're the ugliest cutout they ended up being so absolutely ugly. It's just, I'm gonna pin this up just to remind myself someday
On what not to do.
what on all of the things not to do. I still don't understand what happened here.
Uh, hold it up closer to the camera.
The glue probably didn't adhere.
I made a applique piece one time, and after I used 2 stiff glue paper. What do you call that stuff? Heat and bond. Yeah. And I heated it too much and it wouldn't glue down at all.
I think that's what I did.
Sometimes if you're appliquing, I don't cover the whole thing with the heat and bond. I usually just put a good portion. I don't even go to the edges just to get it to stick on whatever I want it to stick on.
Really?
Yeah, I don't usually heat bond the whole thing.
I usually iron it. I usually press it as if I'm going to stand out in a hurricane or behind a jet airplane. And I must prevent the fabrics from separating.
Sometimes,
But you might have to hang on to one. Yeah.
sometimes I peel it off and the glue comes off with the paper. It doesn't always adhere to where you want it to. I've had that.
Which is probably why I overpress mine, because I've done that too. I ended up with, I think it was towards the end of the petals when I was getting tired of pressing petals. And I think what I did was there were some where I was just trying to get them done and go too fast. And I didn't quite, they were like in between bonding and not bonding. And it was a little bit, so I went back and had to press some of those down. But then You know, if you're stitching down the edges, like Madeline says, it's gonna stay. It'll stay down. Well,
Yeah, the instructions are. Well, it should have worked. I don't see any different times on the stiff than
the
the.
two different ones.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get myself some more. We have
Yeah.
different
We'll have to
names
do-
on here.
I know we have all kinds of people on tonight that made it over. Lacey and I can't. Jakak's iPhone. Welcome,
No,
welcome. Oh, I think somebody
it's
said hello.
Alex.
Alex. Oh,
I'm not
Alex from.
fun. Yeah, living and crafting.
Yeah, hi, how
Oh,
are you?
I'm connected with my headset, and so it shows up as my name, not my computer for some reason. I don't know.
Got it. Well, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I've been wondering the last couple of weeks.
I'm here. I don't always talk.
unfortunately, I do.
I'm procrastinating making videos.
Do you, Alex? You have a YouTube?
Yeah, I do. It's living and crafting with MS. And when you go to find it, you use the and sign, not the word and.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so living ampersand crafting with MS.
Yeah. I'm trying to get on a better schedule, but right now South Dakota is having some weird weather. Mother Nature forgot that it's spring/summertime and we're back in 40-degree weather.
Okay,
I've
hold
so
seen
on.
I think I've seen one
That
of your videos.
that messes with my MS really bad sometimes.
Oh, that's too bad.
I
Are
do
you
worse.
telling
when
me
it's
that
cold.
all three of you are from South Dakota?
I'm
No.
from South Dakota. They're from North
North
Dakota.
Dak-
They're above me.
We're
Did I
from North
mess it up
Dakota,
again? Betsy and Sandy are in North Dakota.
right?
Yes.
I'm on the west side of South Dakota, so I'm more towards Rapid, and I'm 4 hours away from Rapid.
Oh,
Where,
Southwest. Kinda.
yeah, I'm over by. It would take me about 3 hours, maybe a little less, depending on how fast I drive, to get to like Sturgis.
Ah,
So
I've
way
been to
far over that way.
Rapid City. There is the Black Hills. There are beautiful.
yep, that's out by. Yeah, it is. I love going out to Sturgis.
Mm-hmm. And the Needles Highway. That's
Yep,
gorgeous. We took the kids out there a couple.
it's one of the deadliest roads when Sturgis is going on.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah.
I can't imagine going on those roads with a motorcycle.
No.
I love riding, but it scares me in a friggin' car, much less a bike.
Right.
Ethics certification, we have to get back down there. It's not close and convenient.
Yeah.
We have,
Yes, and I'm glad he reminded me of that because one of my wheels is not.
But I am from Florida, so I'm kind of jealous that you're in Florida.
Oh.
It's that
I'm from Orlando.
today. See, and we are about an hour. We go to Orlando. I think I mentioned before. We love to go over towards the Orlando. Oh, I was telling Laura because Laura just got back from the Orlando area visiting her son. We love to go over that way because where we live out near the Gulf, it's a little more rural. It's a little
Yeah.
more, you know, we don't have as much stuff.
When we
Got a Target.
when we moved into Orlando, my parents, we had a little accident with our house. I kind of burnt it down by accident. So
Oh dear.
we bought a bunch of land. My parents bought 2.5 acres in the middle of Orlando That's how long ago it was.
Oh
You
yeah.
cannot. So when my mom died after my father had passed away 20 years ago, when my mom passed away, um, they were fighting over who was going to get her land because it was two and
Oh,
a
I
half
bet.
acres.
But-
That's like having in California, that's like having 2.5 acres in San Jose or, over in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
It used to take my dad about 20 to 30 minutes to get from our house to the naval station. And once it became real super busy, it would take him almost an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to the base.
Oh, wow. I don't know what that would be like living like that. And
I loved it.
we don't have as many people. And
I
so,
went from big town to small town.
That was kind of what we did is we went from something that was more not really a big city, but just more stuff to an area where we don't. But I will say this, the one thing that Steve and I have learned and that we have really come to embrace and really like is it's nice to live somewhere where you can kind of have some balance, where you kind of can have both. So we're an hour from like Clearwater or Tampa, and then we're about an hour and some change from Orlando. And so if you want to go shopping or if you want to go to a mall or you want to go and do stuff, a lot of stuff like for the day, it's close enough that you can go do it and you don't have to plan a whole weekend around it. But we find ourselves at the end of that day just itching to come back home where it's quiet and, he goes out and digs something or fills something or mows something and, you know, I don't know. It's just you learn to, after a few hours of being around a lot of people and a lot of stuff, and I think part of that also has to do with kind of how we've learned to live differently during, you know, 2021, 2022.
That awful time.
Yeah. I think we just learned to not need so much hustle and bustle and
That's why I hated working in Manhattan. When I lived in New York, I lived in Staten Island. I worked in Manhattan.
Oh.
So Staten Island was always like the city, but had very countrified with city conveniences like transportation, but they were very small shops and things like that. And I couldn't, but yet my brother loved living in Manhattan. See, and I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, as much as I love, as much as I miss Orlando and Florida in general, my original plan was to eventually move back there because of my MS, because I do worse in the winter when it's cold. And so I was originally just going to move back to Florida with my husband and my 20-year-old daughter. But then my 23-year-old, got married and they have our 4-year-old or our 3-year-old granddaughter. So that kind of nipped it in the bud. I'll never
gotta
leave.
nip that in the bud, right?
Yeah, I'll never leave now,
those
no matter how much
grandkids
I
are
suffer.
free.
She is a mini me, let me tell you. She likes to come over and she likes to quilt with Nana.
Oh,
Oh,
My 4.5-year-old granddaughter I went to a bag class yesterday and made my little bag here
oh, cute.
and I sent a picture to my daughter and she's like, well, Reagan said that that's hers and she wants to go to the quilt shop with grandma. And I'm like, hey, we're doing it.
that's
The only
awesome.
problem
She,
is
she wants to learn how to sew.
the only problem I have is every quilt that I have hanging on my little design wall, she sees, she thinks it's for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think your parents have enough room. You've already got quilts coming. I think we need to slow down a little bit. No, Nana, that's mine. Okay.
But we only have one quilt shop here in Fargo,
Ours closed. So
and
my nearest one's an hour away.
our Joanne's is, I don't know, I haven't been there for so long.
Nothing
It
here
was-
in Jersey anymore, really.
Ugh.
There's one quilt shop in Pennington. That's it. Now Joanne's closed.
Yep. We had one little small store here that sold some fabric. And then the nearest quilt store is an hour away. Then there's one 2.5 hours away and one an hour and a half away. And if I go the other direction towards Rapid, it's 4 hours away. So needless to say, I did list the mine online.
Well, it's a 2-hour trip to Pennsylvania. So if I want anything, I usually make a day of it and go into Pennsylvania.
It's so sad. And the problem is that there's no real balance. Like, you have smaller quilt shops and we have one in town, and the problem is that they're open such limited hours, like they close at, I think it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that's
That's
terrible.
what ours does. and
Yeah,
they're
see, if I
open
had something,
Saturdays,
it would be open all day.
Yeah, ours are open all day.
Very limited.
I like going into Lancaster with the Amish, the quilt shops.
Oh, yeah.
And Lebanon has nice quilt shops. I do a lot of damage when I go there because of the
Where are you at?
Yeah, I bet.
Huh?
Where are
That's
you
it.
at?
I'm in Jersey.
Hmm.
I moved from New York. I moved
The
from
problem,
what?
and I don't know I don't know that there's a solution, especially now. Like the advantage of well, we've talked about this, Hobby Lobby. We do have they just opened, thank goodness, a Hobby Lobby in our town about 6 months ago. No, I guess it's probably been longer than that. It's probably going on a year now. So at least we have that, and you can get some fabric there, and they do that. Who was telling me? Was it Betsy or Madeline that on certain? Is it every other week they put the fabric on sale?
Yeah,
Oh,
this week they're on sale. 40% off.
40% off. And when is it, Laura? Every other week?
Yeah, every other week. This week it's 40% off.
Oh, I should go and try and find something for the back of this
Yeah.
butterfly thing.
is that
Yeah.
all Hobby Lobbies? Is that
That's the
all-
ones in Tennessee, and I just look on the website, find my Hobby Lobby, and then I look for cotton fabric, and I look at the price, and if it's got a red line through it, and it's regularly $7.99, now it's $3.99, and
Oh, wow.
$4.99, then I'll buy it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby near me, but I was boycotting them.
Well, I kind of do too, but
Yeah.
So I'm at the point now where if I go into a Hobby Lobby, my girlfriend's going to come after me.
I wish
I think
Joanne's
I'm
had
more
been
afraid
able
of
to
my
hang
girlfriend.
on.
Huh?
I wish Joanne's had been able to hang on.
yeah.
Why do we boycott Hobby Lobby? I'm unsure about that,
Well,
but maybe I don't need to know.
We
No,
got
probably not. If you don't know, then it probably doesn't matter. I mean,
we were boycotting it 2 years ago. They took out all their Hanukkah stuff.
Oh,
And I got really offended by that.
Oh, okay,
They made a conscious decision not to sell it.
gotcha.
They make a conscious
not
decision
go on
about a
Google.
lot of things.
Huh?
They make a conscious decision about not supporting a lot of things that they should support.
Yeah, but it usually doesn't bother me, but this really bothered me. And then they opened one up there's an area in Jersey called Manalapan,
Oh.
and that's all Jewish. That's where my niece lives. They're going to kill them. They almost slit their throat because you're not going to get anybody to even shop in there
Yeah.
because they were all mad. They were all angry.
I can't believe that they do that, but
Oh, I do.
it's a little ridiculous.
Look, I mean, look, they can do whatever they want. It's a free country, but you're in business, and I have nothing against the stuff that they sell, but it's all totally Christian. And the one holiday a year that, you're looking for Hanukkah paper or whatever, it's not like we have a lot of stuff. I mean, 3 things, that's Hanukkah stuff. So, yeah, so we all got our noses put out of joint.
whenever I boycott something or some business or something, I'm sure they're feeling it. Can you imagine? I don't spend my.
Depends on what kind of neighborhood they're in. I'm not in an overly Jewish area.
I don't think
It
I make
probably doesn't make a difference to them.
I don't think mine make any difference to the,
You know, we were in a business one time years and years ago, and they had a guest speaker, or Steve heard a speaker one time. I don't remember what it was. That part's not important. And his point was, you know, when you're in business, if there's certain things you want to do in your own life, okay, do whatever you want in your own life. But in business, sometimes the best thing that you can be is absolutely is kind of neutral on some things and just not pick a side. You
right.
know, we don't have enough businesses that just don't want to pick a side. So
Another,
I'll leave it at that. But that
Yeah,
sometimes bothers me is, you know, just you do yourself so it's like actors and actresses nowadays. Sometimes I know that they're going to be in the news and make a headline about whatever's going on or not going on. And I hurry and turn it off because I've told Steve, I liked that person in a movie and I don't
right.
want to hear about all their personal baggage. I don't want to hear about it. So it's businesses should, I don't know, they should be more vanilla.
my brother was in business for 30 years and he was in a Christian, Catholic, whatever neighborhood. He closed on Good Friday back then when all the other businesses closed on Good
Yeah.
Friday. You know, you had to do business with these people.
Right.
When my uncle came here, he opened up grocery stores. They were all in Italian neighborhoods. He learned to speak Italian because all his customers were
Right. That's what the flow was, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do, but you don't outwardly make a decision and tell people that are shopping in your store basically that you're not wanted in there.
I've got a little bit of an issue with these butterflies.
What's your
What's going on?
With the tilt of them, I'm finding to kind of keep them so that they look somewhat centered, that I'm really not placing them in the center.
I
So I'm
don't think
kind
that,
of eyeballing it. So I just like this one, I just kind of eyeballed so that I'm trying to make sure that I have enough. Some of them, when I put it, because of the way that the butterflies tilt, if I put it right in the center, it puts the higher up side so high up that there's going to be nothing left once I stitch it. So I'm
right.
just kind of going, I think that's probably going to be the best is just to go by kind of eyeball it.
I think so. I think they look fine as long as you've got room for your seam.
I like them cattywampus like that.
Yeah,
I
I
like them a little, yeah, me too. See, I think I just did it there, Madeline.
Otherwise, you got to fold the butterfly not in half this way, not wings together, but this way, and
Yeah.
then fold your square in half, and then match up the two creases. Too much work.
Well, and that's what I was doing was finding the center on both the square and the butterfly. But then when you tilt the butterfly, even though it's technically centered,
That's because you weren't drawing the line on the square on the diagonal. If you
correct.
No, because then the wings would be going the other way. Diagonal, and then if you put the body in half, well, then the wings would be coming towards the top and the bottom. You don't want them coming top and bottom.
No,
No, just do it the way you're doing it. It's fine.
I think that ensures that I am kind of consciously looking at each one to make sure that there's enough for the seam allowance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I just overheated this one, and now I think that this one is not going to glue. My God, I'm going to keep the heat and bond people in
Either
business.
that or stick another little piece on there.
Yeah, and you know what? This is one that has the heat and bond light. Oh, Sandra had to go. she will watch the replay. I think like on this one, I'm gonna go with Madeline's theory, which is there's enough of it that's kind of stuck on the other side. And this is the heat and bond light, so I can sew it. So I'm just gonna, it won't move while I'm sewing, I'm just gonna sew it. Once I tack it down, right? Should be okay. It's not gonna go anywhere. Where's it gonna go?
No, you're gonna sew around the outside of them.
Yeah.
Come in your room tomorrow and find them all on the ceiling.
Maybe they'll be flying around your sewing room.
Such a smart aleck she is. Such a smart aleck. Well, ladies, I had a fantastic evening. I love hanging out with you guys.
It was fun. I actually got something done.
I think we're starting to get, we thought we were going to be in Clearwater. We were going to go to the beach today for Steve's birthday, but like I said at the beginning, it's too hard to do it in the middle of the day right now, in the middle of the week, so we're going to go this weekend. And so he said, well, what are you going to do about your live? And I said, well, I'll just do a little live, hello from the car or whatever. And, we just won't do the Zoom this week. It's fine. And he said, no, you really should do the Zoom because we're just kind of getting the knack of it. Like, I feel like we're just kind of getting the hang of it. And I feel like this week we actually got the hang of it. Like, we got the hang of how to work. I finally turned my gallery view on, which was fantastic. And I feel like we finally figured out a way to still be able to work and get some stuff done and chat. Oh, how fun this was.
Yes, it was fun. I won't be around. I won't be at the Zoom next week. I'll be kind of just getting to Virginia and
That's right.
hullabaloo and
Are you gonna do it on Sunday? Or no?
On Sunday I do a live.
Just a live. Okay. So Wednesday is
a live.
Zoom. Okay.
And then on Wednesdays we do the Zoom.
Okay.
And
I have a board meeting for my association, so I won't be here either next week.
oh, so it's gonna be we'll have a smaller group. Well, you have a good meeting next Wednesday, and Betsy, have a safe trip to Virginia. Her grandson's graduating from
Thank you.
college.
how fun.
So
From
have
high
a
school.
safe trip. And all the rest of you have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. I'll see you guys obviously tomorrow. And I'll put up those links for heat and bond light and
The petals pattern.
I got 12
the
different-
petals pattern. I should probably write
Vintage Daisy.
Vintage Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a video that goes along with it on YouTube with Missouri Star. You can
Okay.
watch if you want to
we'll
watch
get
it
that.
before we do it.
Petals and heat and bond.
I need I'll have to look at the pattern to get the fabric requirements.
Yes, and so if you're working on fabric, which you'll see in the pattern, but if you're thinking about fabric, the way that this original one, because you know how she loves pre-cuts, which I love pre-cuts. Oh my God, I love pre-cuts. She used a layer cake.
Okay.
So when I did the petals quilt last time with the bee pattern, I used a layer cake. And it was perfect because when you do the heat and bond onto the back of the 10-inch square, one sheet is all the petals and the center. It all fits on one 10-inch sheet.
Really?
Yes. So you just do however many flowers, and then once you have all the petals and all the circles, then you mix it up. But it was very easy with a layer cake. I unfortunately don't think I have a layer cake. I think I'm gonna have to use yardage this time, but I'm gonna start going through my fabric. So
Yeah.
That's what I got was the layer cake. So
yeah.
Which
What
one
did
did you get, Laura?
I got the one that she actually does on the video.
Really?
I can't remember what it is, but I love the colors and I just love it. So
Oh, I have to go back and
it'll
look
match
at it.
my
I don't
house.
even remember.
Is it a lot of florals?
Yeah, it's a lot of florals. Can't talk, but yeah, I'll look back and see, and then on Wednesday I'll tell everybody if you want me to.
Mhm. Yes.
Layer cake when Joanne's was going, beginning when Joanne's was going out of business. The black with all the roses and everything on it. And I think I
Yeah.
paid something like $13 for the whole layer cake.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And 13 for the jelly roll that went with it.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Now I said to my girlfriend, I don't need it, but how can I pass it up if it's only $13?
You'll find something to do with it, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Wow.
That's great.
Just like all the other fabric I have. I read
Okay, everybody, have a fantastic evening. Steve wanted to make sure to thank all of you for the incredible birthday wishes. You guys were an awesome addition to his birthday. And
What do
I
you think of
think
his
that's-
pillowcase?
oh, okay,
Hold on.
he's getting it. I just heard him say, I'm getting it. Okay, it totally came out. So
I made that same pillowcase last week for my granddaughter. And
Did
she
you
loves
really?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And with that extra, like that larger band, that almost like piping band.
Yeah.
You know what's cool about it is like even he noticed. He was like, "Wow, that's really cool how you added that little black thing in."
Yep.
You're so cool.
Happy
You know what?
birthday to Steve. I didn't know it was his birthday. Happy birthday. I missed out.
It looked much more impressive than the amount of work it took to actually do it.
They're not
Cindy,
done. I
that's the
just-
amazing thing about that pillowcase pattern is I'm so intimidated by it every time I start it.
Then you find out how
Okay.
easy it is.
This magazine that was called All People's Quilts. Oh, look,
Nice. Looks great.
There it is.
they used to have a challenge, a million pillowcases.
Perfect. This is
Yeah.
nice. Right here.
Yeah,
that's
she
how
just
they learned to make the
Sandy.
pillowcases.
Yeah.
Sandy and Betsy are both in
North to
North Dakota.
That's cold.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
How many
Alex
Dakotas?
is in South Dakota.
Wow.
So when
See,
we
if
do
you
a
go on
meetup
a road
someday, we're
trip-
probably gonna have to do it in in one of the
If you
Dakotas.
go on a road trip, you can come through, stop at everybody. You could stop here. We can go to the Badlands, and you can just carry on and see the other two.
See, there
Absolutely.
you
How about
go.
we all meet
Alright.
we're gonna go to Missouri Star?
That's where
Hit me up on the way.
we
We
would
should-
like at some point to make a pilgrimage to the
We
mission
should
that is
we should
Missouri
make it.
Star.
We should all do that
I'll
Missouri.
go. If I
Absolutely.
happen to accidentally get stuck in your car on the way back to Florida, there's not much they
Wait,
can say
how
about it.
far is it
Sorry.
from, we'll be in
Maybe.
Wisconsin later on in the year, July,
Oh, we're going to Wisconsin?
for the air show.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
and
right.
Oshkosh.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huge deal.
it is.
Big deal. Huge.
Yeah, but
huge.
what are we gonna do?
Huge
gonna
deal.
What are we gonna do at the air show in
I'll
Wisconsin?
stay at the air show. You guys can go to Missouri.
All the
There's really good. I know some good quilt shops in Wisconsin too.
oh, cool.
Yeah, well, we need
Maybe
to
you
place
need
that.
somebody to drive
Please.
back with you if he stays at the house.
Keep my
Yeah.
pillow back.
All right.
Take your dog.
So yes, that pillowcase pattern is
Perfect.
Is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, it is.
It's perfect, and it's so easy. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I'm gonna make a mint on selling pillowcases. Okay, ladies.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you guys.
I had a fabulous evening. I love you guys, and remember,
Only
Oh,
quarter inch.
only quarter inch seam. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.